Hello everyone, this is Gabatron Gaming here with part 5 of how to make your clicker game. In this video we're going to continue what we did from the last part, which was coining the coin, and in this video we're actually going to start coining the numbers and the rest of the sprites that we need to use for our numbering system. Let's get started. This video might be a little bit longer, so in hopes to try and make it a little bit short, I'm going to run through this a little bit quickly. Feel free to stop whenever you want. You can always pause the video, and I'm going to still try my best to explain it as well as I can while I go along. So first thing I'm going to do is go into number point and add two things. When green flag is clicked, and then also when I receive clicked. So what this is going to do is basically we're going to have when green flag clicked, and we're going to add hide. So at the beginning of the game, we can't see the number point. And the reason we're doing this is because the actual sprites that we have need to know where number point is, but the people who play your game don't have to actually see that. It just has to be there for the sprites. And the second thing we're going to do is have a when I receive clicked, go to random position. You don't actually need this code if you want your numbers to pop up in the same spot whenever you click the coin. But in my opinion, I think it looks better if numbers pop up everywhere on your screen, which is why I have this little code. But if you want numbers to just pop up in one place, you can just remove this code. And I am going to actually show you what I mean by this. You can remove it later if you decide that you don't like how I'm showing it right now, but it's really up to you. So the next thing I'm going to do is inside numbers, I'm going to start with pretty much the same thing, which is when green flag clicked, hide. Again, this is because we don't need to see the original. We just need to see the clones of this sprite, because that's going to be the ones that actually have code in it. We're going to go control, and we're going to grab when I start as a clone right here. And we're going to grab go to number point. This is because if we have it go to anywhere else, it might come to a random position if that thing changes. What I mean by that is say we want to go to the coin. Well, we don't know right now if we want to move the coin later on, we might want to bounce or something. Whatever we do, we need the point to stay the same, which is why we just have this null point, because this thing will stay the same. Or like I said, go to a random position, and that will show that'll actually show where the nulls will spawn. So that's why we have go to number point here. And then we're going to go grab a show, because again, we want the players to see the clone. But right now it's hidden because we don't want them to see the original. And we're also going to grab a go to front layer, and that's just so it doesn't get covered up behind the coin or the background. Then the next block that we're going to code is going to be a little bit more complicated. So first we need switch costume to, and then that's just going to have the costume in the bubble. And we are going to actually put something different inside this bubble. We are going to put an operation inside that bubble. And the operation we're going to put is letter 1 of apple. What this means is it's going to look at this word that we put in this bubble, and it's going to find the first letter of that word or number. So in this case it's A, and as we see, if we click it, it shows A. And that's because the first letter of apple is A. If I change this to 2, it would take the second letter of apple, which would be P. And that's basically how this operation works. And how we're going to use this is by getting a number count and getting a number. And we're going to use this to switch the actual costume like this. And that is going to have it so when we switch the costume, it'll switch to something that is a lot more changeable. Because if we have a number, it'll just switch to that same number every time we use this code. But by putting variables in here, we can actually choose what costume it switches to, and it's a lot easier. And we also need to add one quick thing to the coin, which is going to be set number. We can put at the top here, set number 2, and we can change this to NPC like this. Oh, where'd my NPC go? Okay, so now we have the number actually set to an NPC. And what this will do is now when we run this code, we're going to switch the costume to whatever number or whatever digit we're on of number, which is NPC. So what I mean by that is, say this is the first number of the number that we have, the first digit, then whatever NPC is, like for example 1, it's going to switch that costume to 1. So basically this clone will just be switched to costume 1. And if this is like 120 instead, like if the NPC is 120, then this is going to switch that costume to 1. And if it's number count 2, it's going to switch that costume to 2. So we'll be able to actually form that 3-digit number that we have. And we can't just form that number because it would spawn on top of each other. So we're going to have to move each number a little bit. And how we can do that is change x by, again, we're going to grab an operation, which is going to be multiplication, like this. And we're going to put number count, and then we're going to multiply that by 15. So just put number count first bubble and 15 in a second. And what this is going to do is basically like, if, say I'm the clone, if I am the first digit of the number that we have, I will move a little bit to the right of where this point is. If I'm the second digit, I'll move a little bit more to the right, and that will form the actual number because they won't just be on top of each other basically. And we are all going to also need a wait, and this is going to be so the numbers despawn after a little bit, but we don't want them to despawn immediately, so we're going to put wait in there. I think that wait 0.5 seconds is enough, but you can change that whatever you want. And then we're going to delete the clone, so it basically looks like it despawns after 0.5 seconds. Now we're going to work on plus, which is actually going to be a lot easier because in this case we don't actually have different costumes. There's only one costume, which is the plus, so it'll be a lot easier when actually making this. So what we're going to do is grab when green flag clicked, hide, because again we don't want to see the original. Go to front layer so it isn't colored up by like the background. And then we're going to grab when I start as a clone. And it's going to be pretty much the same thing as the numbers, but like less complicated. So when I start as a clone, switch costume to plus and make sure that it's showing. And then go to number point. So go to number point. And then it's just gonna wait 0.5 seconds and then delete this clone. And it's a lot simpler than the numbers is. And we can check that both of these sprites have this code. You can pause the video and make sure your code looks exactly the same. I'm just gonna pause a little bit so you can copy that. And it also, if you don't want these variables showing, you can just go here and take this check mark off like that, and they won't be showing anymore. So now when we start the game and we click it, as you see, +1 is going to come up, and that's how much NPC we have. Say we change this NPC to like 123. Oh, music is going. Then when we click it, as you see, the number will pop up as 123 or 123, which is exactly what we'll gain per click. So that's going to be the end of this video. In the next video, we're gonna actually add a little bit on to these numbers, and we're gonna actually use these red numbers that I have here in the next video, and that's gonna be a lot cooler. So these numbers are a lot more interactive as well. So that's Gatron Gaming out. I hope you liked this video. Peace to everyone.